How we doing? Just an update in relation to Police Scotland, police standards, and the official complaint that I put in a way back in September in relation to serving officers who have aided and abetted wildlife crime and criminal actions to be committed without actually upholding the law of the land. The latest official complaint went in, I would say around about September time. September 2024, ladies and gentlemen, where I made an official complaint about a detective sergeant and other officers in relation to their conduct and lack of upholding the law. So, this is not including from the 15th of September 2024 up till now. That particular complaint to police standard has been updated. But let's get on to police standards. You'll love this. So as I say, or state, I made an official complaint back in September 2024. I received confirmation of said complaint a couple of weeks later. I then received notification from police standards that would be about November, December time of 2024, telling me that due to the complex investigations that police standards have to do, that it may be latterly investigated in 2025. As of the 17th of February 2025, the letter or the email that I received stated that police standards are sorry for the time delay in actually dealing with this complaint, and that they don't have an officer in the hundreds of thousands of police officers who work for Police Scotland. They don't have an officer who will who they can assign this particular complaint to. Rather strange, isn't it? This is after I spoke to a wildlife constable back in, I would say, November time. And that's in my previous video, where he stated that basically Police Scotland are powerless to uphold the law in relation to wildlife. And I'll give you a wee update on the jiggery-pokery that's been carrying on. I'll reiterate. Nature Scotland granted licences to persecute protected species and wildlife to Balmnuttall and Ogilvie and North Lanarkshire Council, which totally contravene the Wildlife Act and Conservation Acts as set out in law. And on several occasions, serving police officers have stated that they do not uphold the law. So, the wildlife officer that I spoke to, I'll not mention his name because I don't want to embarrass him, where he stated that there's nothing they can do because they have to go to Nature Scotland to get clarification. Well, as far as I can see in reading the wildlife law as laid out in law, as written in law, our Scottish law and European and conservation law and British law, Police Scotland are the only ones who can actually uphold it. So that's that. So I had that conversation with a wildlife officer. We went round and round in circles. And I'm like, I says, well, how can't you uphold the law? Well, I need to consult Nature Scotland. But it's Nature Scotland you're investigating for allowing criminal actions to be committed and aiding and abetting criminal actions to be committed. This particular young lady was a Mrs. Sheila McMillan. I'm going to put her name out there because she really needs to be held accountable for what she's done. So, the icing on the cake, so to speak, was the letter dated the 17th of February 2025 from Police Standards, PDS West, where they state that, oh, we're just going to kick this can down the road as to such time as I get pissed off or I just totally lose all interest. Sorry, not happening. And in the email that I responded to Police Standards with as of last night, that would be February 2020, the 22nd I think it was of February, 22nd, 23rd. I clearly stated to Police Standards that they have 14 days to respond to this email because I think they've had more than enough time to actually nominate an officer to actually deal with it. Along with the fact that I did state in the email that if Police Standards are not willing to actually uphold the complaints procedure, then they are aiding and abetting criminal actions to be committed along with their own serving officers. And I can only make the assumption that in the overall picture of things, the sub-divisional commander of Q Division, now this is all happening in Q Division, the sub-divisional commander of Q Division is allowing the perversion, what's the word I'm looking for? He is actually aiding and abetting criminal actions to be committed and go unchallenged. As it states in written law, to pervert the course of justice being carried out is a criminal action under the law that everybody, even police officers, are held accountable to. So the sub-divisional commander has eyes and ears and everything else, his hands in every pie, in relation to his officers. And possibly into Police Standards. So that's his officers derelict in their duty, himself, sub-divisional commander, and the chief constable, who are aiding and abetting criminal actions to be committed and go unanswered. Now, there is a further, as I say, they've got 14 days to respond to my email that I sent them last night. If the police standards decide that they do not wish to respond to this official complaint against them again, then the only other option that I have is to take it further. And I will take it as far and as wide as I can possibly do. Now, whether that means that I name and shame every officer, every person who has been involved in this total screw up for the new migrant centre at the rear of Blades Court in Lochside, I'll happily do that. And whoever's listening from whatever organisation, have no bones about it, ladies and gentlemen. Have no bones about it that I will take this to the utmost fulfilment. And I will name and shame every officer involved in this. Every constable, every detective sergeant, every sergeant who works for Police Scotland, not to mention the members of police standards and the wildlife of Police Scotland, who are there to uphold the rule of law and protect the wildlife as laid out. So that's just a wee catch up, because I haven't put any videos on for a wee while. But my next video that I'm going to put up will not be today, it won't be tomorrow, probably next week. It's going to be what is actually taking place from day one, the overall area that has been allocated and wiped out of water voles, Section 2 protected species on the red list, raptor, birds of prey habitat, bat, protected species, habitat, feeding areas. That's not to mention any other potential animals within the area of the particular site that have been wiped out by Bamnull, North Lanarkshire Council, and all given the go-ahead by Nature Scotland, signed off by Sheila McMillan, who is allegedly the be-all and end-all in water vole habitat and ecology. So that's the particular update as of today, the 23rd of February 2025. Now, I would hope that the powers that be who actually watch this will take this on board. Because if you think I'm going away, ladies and gentlemen, you're on a fucking had. And this includes the local councillor, Mr. Greg Lennon, who pushed for this up at the back here. He pushed for a migrant centre. The same very migrant centre that over in Sweden, migrants killed a whole load of other people. The question I would pose to you, ladies and gentlemen, in relation to this, do you want a migrant centre at the back of you? Do you want a migrant centre within your area? because the powers that be seem to think that they don't give a shit about you. They're not interested in you. You, your family, your kids, your grandkids, or whatever. They're not interested in you. Christ, even the local council isn't interested in youth, because all they're doing is spending your hard-earned money on a migrant centre, which will probably be funded by some European Union fucking conglomerate. But you're the dumping ground. Military-aged males walking round about your streets. And we've seen what's happened with other ethnic groups that's happened within the UK, who have abused children, adults. So I'll leave that with you to sit and ponder, because it's up to you, ladies and gentlemen, what you do and how you interpret this short video. But this is primary for Police Scotland, the officers who have been involved in this, including the local community officers, who I'm still waiting for a reply back from, going back to June, July of last year, who seem to think that I'm just an arsehole. Probably am. But you know what? I'm an arsehole that's not going to go away, and I'm not going to let this lie. And I will take this as far as I can possibly take it, and beyond. Whether it be public media, national newspaper. Because if the police are listening to this, or any relevant party, I have all the times, dates, numbers, names of said officers who are involved in all of this. So, on that cheery note, I hope you have a really good Sunday and a fantastic Monday. So, cheery bye.